riblets.
Yeah, riblets. That's what.
Yeah, I was going to show you what a riblet is. They're super expensive. They're really expensive. So let's talk about how to do it at the house and not spend all that money.
Now we're getting rid of the purge here.
Getting rid of the purge. And, what? If I drop that in the trash, I'll be so mad. Oh, I would not be happy. I've been fussing at Daryl all day for dropping trimmings in the trash. I dropped that whole thing in there. Okay.
Whole rack of ribs.
Whole rack of ribs. Why do I keep getting extra
You
bits
do.
today? All day
the
long.
Boston did the same thing to you.
I know.
Brisket.
Was it the brisket?
Yeah.
Okay. Couple things. I'm going to dry him off a little bit because he's a little hard to work with. That purge is the liquid that is packed in cryovac packaging with large cuts of meat like this. And it's chemicals that are used to help in the wet aging process. That's not blood, which most people think. There is some blood, of course, in there. So it's not really a bad thing. It's just not a wonderful, delicious thing. You want to get rid of it. So there's a heavy trash can. So first thing we want to do, and ribs are kind of funny, especially when I just saw what Daryl did for the competition style ribs. The first thing we want to do is trim off where we have some silver skin. And there's not a ton, but what you do have, you need to get rid of. And we're getting rid of this line of fat right across here. We're not going to worry nearly as much about trimming it up and making it square and making it perfect. Because if you've got ribs at a backyard barbecue or at a tailgate, that's when it's not a barbecue till you're wearing it, right? They're not supposed to be perfect and square. And I said a minute ago, and I meant it, I've never seen a square pig, so I don't expect to see a square rack of ribs. I don't know. That's something that, don't understand that part. I understand wanting to make it pretty. That's a little much. Now, I'm just running the tip of that paring knife. This is part of the backbone, right here. I'm just running the tip of my paring knife right here, because here is where you've got a significant portion of silver skin. So, Daryl, how come your silver skin was all in one piece and mine's all nicked up?
Well, it's how you pull on it. You kind of have to watch as you pull on it.
But I didn't touch it yet.
Oh, wow.
It came out of the package that way.
Oh, my goodness.
So, anyway.
Oh, shoot. Okay. Well, they messed up.
Yep.
Whoever, you know.
Silver skin on a rack of ribs is a lot easier to pull off than it is like on a brisket or a whole fillet. In those, you have to really work a knife. However, if you're at home, especially if it's not nicked up coming out of the package, you really just have to get your fingertips under there. Daryl used a paper towel, but I'm not coordinated enough to do that. I would just I wouldn't get done what I need to get done. But you can see it peels off of there pretty easy. And only gloves around are extra large, and they'd be hanging off my fingertips. So I can't really use the gloves. That wouldn't work for me. So we're being careful. Now let's turn him over. And I'm just checking to make sure anything really nasty we're going to get rid of. Here's what I see. This strip right here. And that's about it. Now, Daryl trimmed his ribs, and for like the competition style. First thing he did was he took off this backbone, which runs right here. This, and you can feel it. You can tell exactly where that is. Now, you didn't take it off in a separate piece. He just ran the knife right down there, didn't he? Then, if you come here, you can feel where the tops of each of those ribs are. And then this section right here is what cartilage? Mm-hmm. So we've got cartilage up here, but the rib bones don't extend all the way up here. Now, just because my hands are not nearly as strong as I would like them to be, Daryl, can you run a cut for me right across here? Okay. And take that section off? All right. Because that knife is bigger than my arm.
It's big, yeah. It is,
Next time I'll bring my own knives. How about that?
Okay. Sound like
I have a much smaller set of knives. They're easier for my hands to work with. I have never used anything like that machete.
It's a big 12 inches.
I think even my chef's knife is 8 inches.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here we go.
Oh, I kind of messed it up a little bit. Let me straighten it up a little bit. Cartilage got a little bit. There's a every once in a while I get a rack of ribs, got an extra big piece of cartilage right there, and I was doing a show the other week and
You know what my
experienced
answer
that.
to that is? If you're at home, who cares? I mean, really, like I said, I've never seen a square pig. I'm going to show you the finished product over here in a minute so that if you are doing competition, this is what yours is going to look like. But at home, this is where you start getting into a lot of waste, which makes me insane. It
Right.
really drives me
And
nuts.
it's wasting money.
It's wasting money, it's wasting food, and I don't like to do either one. So I'm not going to take a couple of the steps that Daryl took to do his competition ribs because it doesn't affect the cooking time or the flavor or really, if you lay that out for somebody, they're going to be happy that you appeared. So you don't have to have it all perfectly square.
Dive off the diving board.
Yeah. So I'm just giving a quick check for silver skin, which is that membrane that contracts instead of it doesn't render and it doesn't melt. It just pulls the ribs up in a strange shape. And I'm good. I've gotten it all. So I am going to borrow a technique from Daryl. If you happen to have an injector, feel free to use this. I mean, it is a nice technique. If you don't have an injector, another thing you could try is to brine your ribs. And I would use just salt and water and sugar. And I'm taking the needle and just going between the bones. And Daryl used a combination of a pork injector blend, a commercial blend, and apple juice. If I were making it, and I'm using this because I can't waste it, I don't want to make up a second batch, but if I were doing it at home, I would use apple juice, and I would use salt and pepper, garlic, onion powder, and paprika. That's what I would use in mine. That will mimic the flavors. You can also, what would be good? You could stir a tablespoon or two of honey in that. Now, you've got to be careful if you use honey early in the cooking process. It can burn, but I think if you're injecting it, it'd be really, really nice. Don't use too much, though. Okay, so to make it up at home, like I said, simple spices you keep in your cupboard. Because I know for me, a lot of the flavor from my ribs, of course I want the meat to taste good. That's, half the point. But a lot of the flavor that I'm going to have in mine is going to be from the homemade barbecue sauce that I'm going to make here in a minute. Because at my house, I really don't use commercial rubs or seasonings. I don't use commercial sauces most of the time. I do them myself.
Man, them ribs look really good, Jan.
Thank you. Not competition style, but I wouldn't say no to these. Of course, I'm not presenting to anybody that's going to hand me a ribbon or a check for $4,000.
Right.
Might change my tune on some of that if I. People start writing me checks, I might say things a little bit differently.
Absolutely.
Makes a big difference when somebody starts handing you money.
Yeah.
All right, I've about got this injected. There's a big fat load of cartilage right there, isn't there?
Yeah.
We were talking earlier, boy, it goes everywhere. We were talking earlier about Frenching, removing the meat between the bones.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about how that one competitor that removes just a little nub between each bone, it creates handles. I gotta say, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. Okie dokie. So we've got this. Now, do you have a particular way you trim riblets?
Well, there's two schools of thoughts. One is cook it all in one piece, or chop it all up into little bitty pieces and then put it in a tin foil. But either way, that meat will cook faster than a rack of ribs will.
Mm-hmm.
You have to be very careful with it.
Well, it doesn't have the bone in it.
And there you go.
The bone acts as an insulator. And so it does have these nubs of cartilage, which kind of act a little bit like a bone, but not to the same degree. Mm-hmm. So I'm taking mine and I'm injecting it with the same stuff. I'm probably going to go ahead and get my ribs started, but I'm going to wait on this huge extra piece. Mm-hmm. We were going to bring it some lunch because we're cooking all this food and we don't have any lunch.
Yeah. We've been doing it now for about 5 hours.
Well, look, I finally did it. But I want to show you the difference in what you would, did it again, what you do for a competition and what you're going to do at home. And real quick, I'm going to rub these. Now, this is the same rub that I've used several times today. And you're talking about equal parts of kosher salt, black pepper, garlic powder, and onion powder. And I do rub. Daryl doesn't rub, I rub. What do you do? Sprinkle.
Yeah, I just covered good and let it whatever sticks.
That's because I'm Catholic and you're Baptist.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Oh God.
That was funny right there. We just told Southern religion jokes.
Uh-huh.
If you're not in the Bible Belt, most of the time those kind of jokes aren't funny. People don't get it. So I'm just rubbing them, both of them. I got out of my rub to make up some more. No, this will be it. This will be it. So I'm going to get him rubbed down, and I want to show you all the difference. Now, Daryl did say the little riblet piece he trimmed off of the competition rack.
Mm-hmm.
You did say you were going to cook that up.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I'd have to hurt you.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and cook it.
But I want to show you the difference in how much product you have trimming it like you would for home and then the way you would do it for a competition. Okay? Give a quick rinse. We got to edit out all the hand washing. Nobody wants to watch me wash my hands.
Absolutely.
So, this is what I ended up with. Can y'all see that? I got a lot. Same exact size and weight. And this is a competition rack.
Mm-hmm.
Yours is prettier. I have to say, yours is very pretty.
Mm-hmm.
I'm taking mine home.
Yeah, you can get twice as much meat and twice as much bread.
It is twice as much. And of course, you know, like I said, we don't waste anything. But here's the thing. Nobody's going to say no to this. You know, and yes, this is beautiful, and that's what I really want to take pictures of and put on the YouTube channel.
Mm-hmm.
But this is where if you're producing for your family and you really want to maximize flavor and quality and everything else, this is the way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Absolutely.
And I'm gonna wash again. We'll go outside.
Okay. All right, everybody. Jan Charles, Food Network star, WKJT.
WKPT.
WKPT local affiliate star. She cooks for a living.
WJHL. Don't leave out my other guys.
Yep, WJHL and big YouTube live stream, big time star. We'll be back in about 2 hours. Chicken only takes an hour. We'll finish up all our cooking, do some sauces, and that'll be Jan Charles and Barbecue Superstars. Let's start out the barbecue summer.
Oh, barbecue summer. I like that idea.
Yeah. January 1st to July 4th is the main barbecue season, but now Barbecue Superstars, of course, does it year round.
Did we shoot that straight through on your channel?
No, that was on yours.
Oh, okay.
No, I was trying to get
You're
it.
better at that than I am. I get distracted. I forget what I'm doing. I get excited over the food.
I was trying to get it up on the television, but I couldn't. You got the ribs done so